All right, good evening, everybody, and welcome out to Charlotte Motor Speedway, where Speed Racing Network proudly presents the Charlotte Shuffle 150 recruitment race for the Xfinity Series. My name is Sean Griffith. I am here with Justin Boyles and Byron McDonald. How's it going, guys?
Oh man, it's going good, man. Welcome to be back in the booth tonight. Charlotte Motor Speedway going to be a great race tonight.
Yeah, appreciate you guys for having me. I'm excited to be back in the booth. It's been a while, Sean, but looking forward to this race and this great group of drivers we have on the track tonight.
For all of our audience that doesn't know you guys, so Byron is a really great driver in our truck league, and Justin is a really great driver in our cup league. So we've got both sides of the coin here that are going to talk about this middle league, the Xfinity League. We got 100 laps to figure it all out here. Only one fast repair tonight, so everybody's got to be a little bit careful.
Yeah, that fast repair is key. You know, the guys last night, like Justin, who said earlier, we were talking before the race and how he got in an incident and he didn't have that fast repair to recover his car. So it's going to be big tonight.
Yeah, that the amount of fast repairs that you have left can definitely change the way you drive. So it'll be interesting to see how these guys treat this race, knowing that they only have one. So, you get one incident and then you almost just have to ride around until the end.
Typically in our leagues, we give a certain number of fast repairs, depending on the level of the league. And so in our truck series, which you see on the screen right now, between 1,000 2,000 iRating. So these are kind of the newer guys. So they get a couple of fast repairs. Here in the Xfinity League, we give them one fast repair because they're kind of the mid ground. They're starting to become really good at it. And then finally the Cup series, where you get nothing.
And that's the big deal. I say all the time, you're going to drive differently when you do have that fast repair in your pocket. So it's going to be interesting to see how aggressive these guys are to start out the night and see how it progresses throughout the night.
Definitely. So let's jump over and take a look at what this league is looking like coming into this season. So we got 20 weeks to figure out a champion, fix setups, one fast repair, $10 a week entry. But look at that first place prize, $500.
Yeah, go ahead, Jess.
I was just going to say money talks, and so these guys, even though it's a recruitment race tonight, you're going to really get these guys are going to get time to fill each other out on the racetrack. And so, I think, the smart guys will be using these recruitment races and these preseason style races to gather information and really kind of fill out their competition.
Yeah, I mean, looking at this entire league, and look at down there at the bottom. So a $200 team championship. So we do allow 5-person teams in here. We'll talk about the teams a little bit later, but something brand new this season is we are being sponsored by Butt Kicker, and Butt Kicker is going to give us one butt kicker for this league for the cleanest driver out there. So if you're the cleanest driver out there, you get one of those butt kicker systems that will allow you to feel like you're in that race car.
Absolutely love the butt kicker. I have one myself. I'm sponsored by these guys. Shout out to those guys. It just adds another immersion to the game. Everybody's looking for that edge, and it kind of gives you that edge if you take advantage of it. So it's going to be interesting to see these guys who can keep it clean and who can go home with that butt kicker at the end of the season.
All right. Well, and the other one that we have is the Hard Charger Award. Now, this is just for tonight. So the Sparkle and Shine Mobile Detailing has generously sponsored us for this Hard Charger Award. So it's going to be $10 to the person that gains the most positions from their starting position tonight. So, Justin, this might be a time that you might not want to qualify high.
Yeah, I think last night we saw it was Dean Brummett, right? He won the race and won this award, if I'm not mistaken. So, and he started 34th, or he was way back there, and so. Especially with it being, this race isn't really going to count towards the championship at all. So, if you want to cash in on $10, this is a time to take the chance and see if you can do that.
Yeah, this is the perfect time for these team captains and team owners to get out there and see exactly what these guys can do if they start from the back of the pack and work their way forward. And I'll tell you, there's somebody that is joining Speed Racing Network and trying to coach us a little bit more that knows all about hard charging, and that's Kane Cook. And so Kane Cook is a Coca-Cola Series racer, so the very, very top level of iRacing. And what he is known for is charging all the way through the pack from the back to the front. In fact, he has an iRating of 7,414, which is extremely high, and he did that only starting from the back and working his way to the front.
Yeah, Kane Cook here, man. Great guy. I've actually done a session with him and have a planned session with him on Wednesday, so can't wait for that. But tons of information. I was a little apprehensive about the group aspect, but he goes one-on-one with everybody, and it's a great deal. So definitely take advantage of it if you're looking to get that edge on your competition.
Oh yeah, I mean we're offering some group sessions by Kane. I'll tell you that the one that we offered last night sold out so quickly that we're trying to figure out a second date to get some more people in there. So the first session has sold out. However, he does offer private coaching as well, and we're going to have more information on that on SpeedRacingNetwork.com as the weeks progress.
Yeah, that's a great deal too. I mean, listen, this all these series that we've got here in Speed Racing Network are fixed series, and which means everybody's on the same setup. And you could take that and almost think that it's a pretty even playing field. But there's a lot of things that you can do to manipulate these cars. I got an opportunity to race with some of the Coke Series drivers in an A fixed race the other night at Atlanta. Malik Ray was in there, Graham Bowl, and some guys are running the Coke Series. And let me tell you, they're on a different level. And when you race these guys, you would think that they're on a completely different setup. I mean, these guys have really figured this out. So any one-on-one coaching you can get from one of those guys is definitely worth the cost of admission.
Oh, absolutely, and at only $15 to get into the team or the group session, it's next to nothing to learn some of the secrets from the pros. And so, there's a couple guys in this room right now that want to get up to that level. And let's start off talking about those teams because we said $200 for the first place team. Let's figure out who those teams are, and we'll start off, Byron, with your team, Rev Racing. Got a great group of guys here.
Yeah, we got team captain Aaron Gerwitz coming back for his second season. He's pretty strong, consistent, definitely growing. Marshall Stanley, I've raced with him several times. These guys are just strong top to bottom. And I'm excited to see this group grow because, as a team, we're so close. And I think we're really going to capitalize a lot as a team this year.
Definitely. Another name on there is Greg Olenek. He is one of those guys that eats, sleeps, dreams iRacing. And so just a good commitment level from Rev Racing. And that's what we love about them. But another team that's out there that has really raised their commitment level over the past season is Bronco Motorsports. And Justin, you've raced with some of these guys before, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, I've spent some time on track with these guys, and the one name that sticks out for me is Brad Williams. I think anytime I've been on the track with him, he really just he finds a way to just hang in there, and he hangs around the front, and so he's usually a tough guy to pass, especially too. So I know I have some experience racing around him, and this team is stout, and their cup level is stout too. So I expect the exact same thing from this group of guys right here.
Yeah, Chris Massey put this team together, and he has done a phenomenal job of that. He's got racers in all the different levels, and so be on the lookout for them because they could be charging to the front. But don't look past Hammer Down Motorsports. This is kind of, it's the old tank racing, but they've added a new driver in Zach Taylor, and now they've kind of got a new attitude.
Yeah, tank racing here with Derek DeSilva, Zach Taylor, Devin Zimmerman, Mike Lepicki, and the open spot here. So one of these guys that we're seeing tonight could possibly fill this spot, and they're definitely gonna have their eyes out there watching this competition and just seeing how these guys race around them.
Yeah, definitely. In the past couple of weeks, we've seen Zach Taylor get a couple top fives and a win. Devin Zimmerman, one of our championship drivers last season. So a lot of really great talent out there. And I think you'll see a resurgence from Mike Lepicki and Derek DeSilva as well this season. So got a really strong team, but they still have an open spot waiting for someone in this room. Next up, we got R&D Motorsports. So this is the Tennessee team that just kind of got thrown together just kind of recently. But look at some of the names on here: Daniel Bodler, Chris Heller, Eric Hoke, Curtis Young, Cody Havens. I mean, this is a legit team.
Yeah, this is the Xfinity Series branch of the Cup team that I'm a part of. And David Duke did a great job in finding the talent to put these guys together. But one name that just jumps out is at the very top of that list, and that's Daniel Bowdler. That dude is super talented. I have never been on a racetrack with him that he could not find a way around. And most times I was following him trying to learn. So, and that goes with every car, but most experience I've raced with him is in these Xfinity cars. And he really understands how to make these things work the way he wants them to.
I'll tell you, this past Thursday when we had the Xfinity recruitment race last week, they found Curtis Young and Eric Hoke just before the race, and I remember David Duke coming across the chat channel saying that he was super impressed with this team. So just be on the lookout because they had 4 top 10s in that race. Next up, the factory team, Team SRN. And so last season, they didn't really do that well. They couldn't really gel together, but I think we might see something really good here, especially with Danny Setzer out there, Daniel Keith. Bo Tiffany's a fantastic driver. Then you have Wayne Rayburn and Stan Houseman. So really kind of shuffle the team up a little bit, but they've got 5 strong ones.
Yeah, 5 strong individuals here. It's going to be interesting to see how the team aspect grows and how they gel throughout the season, and just continue to improve every week as a team.
Definitely. And finally, last but not least, we've got H2k Motorsports, and they call themselves H2k because they are hard to kill. And I got to tell you, they're ones that they just don't give up. They're constantly out there trying to improve. And be on the lookout for that number 3, Jovi Sagiped. And so he did really, really well last week. He's got a lot of people out in the chat already. People love him.
Yeah, nothing wrong with being a fan favorite and a front runner. So I know I got to watch. I can't remember exactly where you guys were racing at a couple weeks ago, but I was tuned in, checking it out. And I think Jovi was up front pretty much the entire time I was watching. And like you said, plenty of fans in the chat. So we love to see that always.
Definitely. So it looks like we've got our qualifying done. Let's see if we can get out there onto the track and find out how it looks. If I can get that screen just pulled up. Hang on one second, boys. We're going to get this thing going. So let's take a look and see what our grid looks like here tonight. And it looks like we got a couple of independents starting us off. So Ted Rikic is, I'm guessing how that's pronounced, and then Christian DeBoer, both independents in the 1-2 spot. Austin Green, an independent, in third, and then Josh Marcy, our first team driver for H2k Motorsports. I mean, what do you think, Justin?
Yeah, one thing I do notice is some of the names that have been sticking out to me. I don't see them in that top 10 outside of Jovi. So that makes me think that these guys are probably qualifying in the back or not qualifying at all to try to chase that hard Charger award. But let me tell you, this is a good opportunity for some of these independent guys looking for a team with some of the open spots in these talented teams that we have available. These guys can really make an impression, especially if they can hang around the front for the majority of the race.
Yeah, a lot of independents there in this top 12. So we are going to see those cars peel off, and we will get started here shortly right after a formation lap. Let's get out there on the track and find out who's going to win this thing. Again, 100 laps to figure this thing out here at Charlotte.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a lot different than last night's Auto Club race. These cars drive completely different than the Cup cars and truck cars, so it's going to be interesting. These things are hard to handle, so it's going to be a fun track. I love Charlotte, so we'll see who can get out front and hold it up there.
I'll tell you, so David Duke's already out in the chat saying, go ahead and call this one. R&D Motorsports and Team SRN are going to dominate this race. And so we will find out if he is accurate in that. Of course, David Duke, the general manager of both of those teams.
Yeah, and David did a great job in helping find a lot of talent for this league. And so, you know, he's going to have a big say in who wins these championships, because a lot of these guys are guys that he went and found and put in these rides. So it'll be interesting to see if his prediction can come true. But let me tell you, I see a lot of big names towards the back, so I'm really interested to see if these guys can get around this traffic and work their way to the front.
Yeah, it looks like 33 guys logged in for this race start. So we did have 41 in the lobby, but always in recruitment races, people leave before the race starts. But taking off right now, Ted Rikic.
Ted Rikic's getting a great start there, getting out to the front and going into turn one.
Yeah, this package here, you don't have as big of a draft effect as you have on the Cup cars, you know, especially on 1.5 miles like you have in the Cup cars. So, you know, those big jumps on the restarts could be huge for you. You know, if you can break away, you can build a little gap and create some separation and make it really hard to catch you and then pass you if you can catch them.
Yeah, that's what I love about Charlotte is you can break away. This is not one of those tracks where people are going to be jumbled up forever and stuff like that. So we saw that last night at Auto Club as well with the Cup cars, where things got spread out really, really quickly. But with 33 cars on the track, there's not going to be too many places to hide here.
No, and that's the key here is you see these guys getting straightened out and just riding that bottom line. You got to set this pass up here, and that's what's so difficult about Charlotte is being patient enough to make that pass and set it up properly without getting into the guy that you're trying to pass as well.
Yeah, and just talking on Charlotte, you know, people at home may not realize this, but when you watch these tracks and these races at these tracks, mile and a half, so a lot of times they get referred to as cookie cutters. But there's no 2 mile and a half that are the same. You go to Charlotte, it doesn't drive like Atlanta, and it doesn't drive like Texas. Just like, you know, even though it looks like it, you know, they're the same, they're not. And what's really tricky about Charlotte is the entry of the corners. There's these big gaps. We got a caution on the speedway.
Just trying to find out who that is. I don't see anybody specifically in trouble out there. I would like to say a debris caution, but we don't have those in iRacing.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it either.
Oh, there's some damage there on that car that you just clicked on. I can't remember who that was. He had right front damage there on that Ford.
Let's go back and find out. Maybe we can figure out who this was. Trying to find the Ford that you're talking about here.
2 cars ahead of the 4 there.
Oh, okay, we got it. So we're gonna go Dustin Scruggs.
Yeah, he's got some right front damage
yeah, I
there,
see that. So let's go back and get a wreck replay, see if we can figure out what happened here.
Next Diag sponsoring the wreck replay here. Appreciate those guys coming on for us tonight.
As they're coming around, oh, there we go. That's Devin Zimmerman sliding out in front of everybody. So let's go back and check that out from his angle. I think we'll see it a little bit clearer what happened here. And it just looks like, somebody got up underneath him and got a little bit of net code going on.
Yeah, and that looks like a product of what I was just getting ready to touch on, is the entries of these corners being is they're oddly shaped, and when you're driving your car, you know, on the track, you can really feel it. But if you miss the entry to that corner, you really just wash up the track. You know, there's almost a dip that almost disconnects the front tires from the track. And if you don't get down to the bottom on the entry, you're going to wash up the track and you're going to have to lift. And it looks like that may have been possibly the cause of that. Is didn't look like Devin maybe quite got the entry he wanted to and had to check up a little bit more than the guy behind him expected him to.
Yeah, definitely. That's the toughest part. Like you were saying, I was going to follow on top of that, was your entry, you know, creates the exit as well. And so if you miss that entry, you're liable to go into that wall. So it's a cat and mouse game of hitting that mark, but also being respectful to drivers around you as well. So unfortunate accident there for sure.
Yeah, it looks like still have 33 cars out there. I know Zimmerman's in the pits getting fixed up right now. He does not want to use a fast repair just yet. It's a little bit too early for him, so he is stuck in the pits getting some repairs done. He'll likely go a lap down quickly.
Yeah, and that's another thing too, is another part of the game is, you know, he's damaged now, but if he's able to get out ahead of this pack and stay on that lead lap, possibly, you know, hold on to that fast repair until, you know, he's for sure can make it the rest of the way without really getting into any incidences.
Yep, he looks like he did beat the pace car out, so he should be able to fall in line here on the tail end of this field and be all right and ride around. And he saved that fast repair, so if he can just stay patient and you know, I have a feeling this won't be the only caution we get. But even if it is, we will have green flag stops at some point in this race. So he's definitely going to have an opportunity to recover from that incident.
Oh yeah, last night we had some yellow flags really early in the race, and then we went on a long green flag stint. And so I fully expect that to happen here as everybody kind of settles down once they get a couple cautions under their belts.
Yes, there were some incidents early.
We're not going to mention who was involved in those incidents or who got taken out in those incidents. Sorry about that.
Insert Homer Simpson backing into the bush. Like, I did not say anything. Let's back out of that.
Hey, it happens. It's part of racing, man. Sometimes you're just out here doing your own thing, riding your line, and the next thing you know,
you're a casualty.
You're meeting a wall, and you know, but. Hey, the pace car's going to dive off. These guys are getting ready to go green again. And let's see if Ted can get that jump again. Looks like he is. That inside line really got bottled up on the restart. We got guys checking up all the way through the field.
And it looks like Austin Green tucks in right behind him for second place. And right behind him, Christian DeBoer, who started off in second, back in third.
Again, it's going to come down to these tires, too. You know, again, last night, he was able to save his tires and just take care of it. So we're gonna see how racy these guys get with these tires and see what the strategy plays out to be.
It looks like Ted in that 91 is going to try to protect the bottom there down the back stretch. If you saw he moved down a half a lane, he must really feel like the bottom line is the way to be through 3 and 4 at least, and really probably through 1 and 2 also, because he really pinched that 8 car up near the wall right there.
Sean Taylor going through the infield, still green, but that is going to set him back a long, long way.
As he takes the Rovo there to get back on the track, that was pretty cool. But yeah, he's protecting this bottom because that is the way he's gonna get a run here on the outside, on the inside, coming out of turn 4.
Yeah, it looks like Ted may have missed his exit there just a little bit and had to lift, and that really allows that 8 car of Austin Green to get a run here. But it's one thing to get to a guy's bumper, but to get around him, that's the tough part, especially in these cars that don't have that high downforce like the Cup cars do. You really have to set up your passes on corner exit, as looks like he's going to have a shot at it.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. We run these in our practice sessions a lot, and I can't stand them because the way you got to set these passes up. So it definitely teaches you to be patient, and hopefully the A car can be patient here and make this pass cleanly.
Yeah, you can see Ted in the 91. He's kind of just hanging out about a good lane and a half off the bottom, giving Austin Green that bottom line. And the thing is Austin needs to make this pass quickly, or he needs to back out of it, because the lower you are on the track, especially if you're not able to float the car on exit, as he does get clear here, you're really going to eat up that right front tire. And in these cars where you have that lack of downforce, it's going to make it very tough to turn as this run goes on.
Yeah, these guys, he finally got the pass completed. Let's see if he pulls away here, if he tries to kind of save his tires. 91 continuing to put pressure on him, hoping to make him use those tires over.
Yeah, we're going to have side-by-side for third back here as we come off of turn 2.
Ooh, interesting race here as Marcy's trying to make the pass to the inside. You see him kind of side drafting there. I don't know how much that works in these cars, but looks like he's going to get the run off the corner and hopefully make this pass clean.
Don't look past Curtis Young here in 5th position. He's the one that came in last week. He was brand new. We had never met him before, and then he took 2nd place in that race. So a fantastic racer in his own right. So be on the lookout for that Canadian car there.
Yeah, I was going to say, you see him repping Canada out here. I was learning all about Canada today in our Discord server, learning about hockey and snow and all kinds of fun stuff. So we got
yellow flag. It's Nick Gowen. Nick Gowen spinning on the bottom of the track. Didn't look like anybody else was majorly involved there. But we're going to have to go back and find out what happened with Nick Gowen to make him start spinning with another next Diag Rec replay. And so it looks like Baudler just right on his tail. Gets down to the inside. Just not enough room.
Yeah, I'm listening to race chat, and it sounded like Daniel mentioned that how bouncy the backstretch is, and just kind of, I guess, hopped the car up into him and maybe misjudged the distance between the two there.
Unfortunate, but at least he saved the car. Nobody hit him and no casualties here. The only thing I got to worry about if you're the 98 is if those tires that you just burned up. So let's come down and probably use one of your sets, but hey, your car's still intact.
Yeah, and everybody did a great job picking up there and getting around them. It looks like the entire field is going to come down pit road. I'm watching the battle here as Austin Green leads them down pit road.
Get one more view of this. And again, great driving by everybody behind. Nobody else involved at all.
Just great job to keep it off of anything. He got in the grass. That could have easily ended up in the wall and have to use that fast repair. So great conscious decision there by Nick to keep it off the wall.
Yeah, just because you go spinning doesn't mean you stop driving the car. So by all means, that's considered a save right there if you can keep it off of anything, especially getting turned down to the inside like that. Looks like Austin Green may have held on to the lead there over Ted. No, Ted beat him off of pit road. So Ted's going to regain the lead.
And right now, Devin Zimmerman and Tony Drayon, I believe they are waiting for a wave around. I think that's what's going on with them being in 1st and 2nd. So this is technically the race for 1st and 2nd, I believe, with Ted Rikic and Austin Green, which they've basically been racing the whole time.
Yeah, this wasn't necessarily an aspect that we saw last night. So it's a little bit different for our viewers that joined us last night and tonight where, they're putting under caution. So it's going to be an aspect of he got out first here, but let's see if they do get those green flag stops, how well they get on and off pit road.
Yeah, Sean, and I'm going to tell you, I don't think these guys are waiting for a wave around because I'm showing them scored ahead of them now, so ahead of Ted and Austin. So I believe these guys stayed out here, going to try to get some track position, which is feasible, especially if these guys are in the back just riding around, hanging out. It looks like maybe the 34 is going to come on down, but Devin Zimmerman's going to hang out and stay out front here.
Risky call early in the race with these old tires. I mean, they're not old tires; they're 14-lap old tires, maybe 10 laps on green, but still, these cars have so much more power than the other cars, so it's going to be interesting to see him get off of this without spinning those tires.
So Tony is going to come down. So Devin Zimmerman will be leading this race once we go back to green. Out there in the chat right now, Nick, and I screwed your name up last week. I'm not going to try to do it again this week. He's saying, let's go Young and Hoke. Gino and Puff, I guess that's their nicknames out there. And then we got a couple guys out there for R&D Motorsports, a couple guys for H2k out there, including Joseph DuPont, their team captain. So lots of great guys out there in the chat already. Hopefully we see a really good race tonight.
Yeah, for sure. I always love that fan interaction. It really adds to the broadcast. I know I've had people that watch our Cup races comment on that and tell me how much they really enjoy. Sean, you paying attention to that chat, so that's great.
See some damage there on the side of Zimmerman's car. So, and again, he had to come in and get some of that damage fixed really early in the race. We will see if that affects him at all, and maybe he's just trying to get that lap position or that track position right now so he can dive in a little bit later on and repair some more of that damage.
Yeah, he was running 16th there before the caution. So, I mean, anything ahead of 16th by the time this all cycles through is a net gain.
Interesting pit strategy as we're going to see the pace car dives onto the pit road. And Zimmerman takes off, didn't spin a tire, so he gets a good jump. Let's see how he holds on to this lead.
See that 91 really trying to squeeze Green there on the bottom, but it looks like Austin Green got a great shift and it's going to be able to hold that bottom line. And you can see the fresh tires and what they did right there just through 1 and 2. There's going to be 3 wide coming off of turn 2 for the lead, and that's going to be a tight squeeze.
Yeah, if you're Zimmerman, you are in a panic mode right now. You knew this was going to happen, but luckily they get through cleanly, and hopefully they can keep him clean here as he's going to drop back to the field with these old tires.
Yeah, if I had to guess, that looked like a lot of uncertainty for Devin Zimmerman there, just going through 1 and 2, not exactly sure what the car was going to do, and maybe didn't get through it as well as he would have liked, because he seems to be holding on pretty well there as he settles into third. He's under fire right now from Jovi, but and he's just going to have to manage that. And like I said, just anything above 16th is a net gain when this all cycles out. So that should be the goal.
So Jovi makes the pass into third, and then following him, you got Dylan Patterson there. So following him. So Devin Zimmerman really falling back right now.
Yeah, it's going to be tough with him being on the outside. He's got to get behind this car as soon as he gets past. If I was him, I'd just let him go and hopefully dive down to that bottom lane before that next pack of cars catches him. Here they come.
Yeah, I think if my goal was track position here, I would have probably, as we got a pass for the lead there, Austin Green driving around Ted Rekich again as we go into 3. But I think I would have taken 2 if my goal was track position. I mean, let's test it out. No, Austin Green just got up into the wall. Yeah, that's going to hurt the aero on the right front of that car for sure.
I believe Mark Brown is up in the wall as well. So way back towards the back of the pack. Looked like he's got some major damage.
I don't know if he got assistance there, but again, it's that exit of kind of a corner. You think you make it, and then it's too late before you can get to the wall.
Yeah, I believe they're using the regular iRacing fix set, not the open fix set that iRacing added in. So if I had to guess, I would say that these guys are probably fighting a pretty tight race car, and so that that just means you got to back up your corner entry a little bit more, and you got to treat that throttle like there's an eggshell underneath it, because once you commit to it, if you're going to get up into that outside wall, it's hard to correct that and not do that.
Absolutely, that's probably my biggest tip with the Xfinity car as I drive it is it's too tight, and I love a loose race car, so that's my biggest thing is being patient and backing off that throttle. As you saw the 8 car, probably got in the throttle a little bit too quick and ended up in the wall.
Yeah, and that just all goes back to that reduced downforce, and then like you touched on a little bit too, the more horsepower that these Xfinity cars have. I mean, you get in the throttle, and you're going to get a lot more response, in terms of RPMs and picking up speed as you exit the corner. So you got to balance that. And even though you do have that response, you still have to be able to carry momentum. And so that's what makes corner entry so important, even in these cars, because you have to keep the momentum up as you go, all the way through the center, and the exit of the corner is now Austin Green's under fire from Jovi, and you have to wonder if that right front damage isn't hurting him a little bit right now.
Absolutely. As you see him on the outside, he's going to struggle here because those cars are going to stay on the bottom. Those guys don't have the damage. As you see a battle for 6th place back there as well. So it's getting picked up here. It's a lot more action than last night because the tighter corners. It's not Auto Club where it's 2-mile tracks. So it's going to be interesting tonight to see these battles throughout the night.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, Jovi is coming quick. And I was going to say that's all Ted wants to see in his mirror is those guys side by side. But Jovi didn't waste his time getting around Austin Green and how he's under fire, about to lose another spot and possibly fall back to 5th.
That 35 nearly gets in his bumper and luckily backed out of it. Great driving there by Marcy. He's going to take over 4th here going into the trioval.
Yeah, that here at Charlotte they got the AstroTurf on the front stretch instead of the grass, and so you see a lot of these guys are really kind of pushing the limits and cutting at the corners of that trioval. So as we get down to the end of the race, I imagine you'll see that, especially on restarts, people trying to get to the inside of other guys and really using all of the racetrack to do that.
Yeah, and it's so bad because that's probably one of my worst habits is cutting that corner there. And towards the end of the run, it gets so loose that it can literally throw you into the pit road. I've done it myself, and so I'm interested to see these guys throughout the run, see how close they get to that grass, and maybe play a little bit on the edge.
We got a little side-by-side action back here around the 8th position, I believe. Battle for that's Daniel Bowdler back there as he just got clear of the. He's got a 3 on his door. I can't tell who that is.
That's the 21 of Matt Cook.
Gotcha. I thought it was Dale Earnhardt for a second there, but we know Dale Earnhardt would never be riding that far back in the pack.
Do it for Dale.
That's right. I like the red number 3. I was just watching the 2001 Talladega race where they had the red numbers on the roof, for the dash for cash, or the no bull 1 million is what they called it then.
Oh yeah, that was probably one of my favorite Mark Martin schemes was the Viagra car with the orange and red number top. That was pretty slick.
Yeah, that's one really cool thing about iRacing, man, is you can use that trading paints and really get some awesome schemes that kind of pay homage to the guys who you grew up idolizing.
Absolutely. I'm one of my most winningest cars is a Mark Martin scheme. I'm so superstitious. I don't know why I changed it, but it hasn't been same since. So maybe I have to go back to that one.
Yeah, I put mine all on the wall pretty equally, so it doesn't really matter what color you got on.
Or you get put into the wall.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't matter how you get there, right? The wall's the wall. We got a pass for 3rd now. Looks like that was I believe that was Marcy getting by Patterson there for the 3rd position, and Jovi is still trying to track down Ted for the lead here as they head down the backstretch.
You got to wonder if Jovi might have burned it up a little bit trying to get to the field here. Ricketts did not have that issue. He just had the one car to pass, so he's probably been out here saving his tires. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens when he gets to him and if he can get by him through.
Yeah, something really interesting I just saw as they came through 3 and 4. That was the 8 car of Austin Green. He rode the fence through 3 and 4. And iRacing has in this latest update added that aero effect when you're up by the fence, and it kind of creates that bubble of air. So it'll be interesting to see if he can find something up there. He's fighting that damage. He is going to drive it back to the bottom here. I was hoping he was going to stay up there because I love guys who can rip the fence. That's just awesome.
Oh, absolutely. It's so nerve-wracking at Homestead. It's one of my favorite tracks, but also it's dangerous up there, and as well as Kansas. Kansas is awesome up top as well.
Yes, Kansas is a blast. And the only problem with Kansas is, man, you just get everybody up there lined up. It is so hard to pass. I like Darlington myself. I think 3 and 4 is just it's super technical corner up there on the top grooves. Man, Jovi he is ticking off time here on Ted as they head down through 3 and 4.
Oh yeah, we got a battle for 15th back here. Stanley and Mon. Sorry, they corrected me earlier. Mon and Stanley making the pass there for 15th, quite easily actually, and looking like he's going to move his way to the
Oh,
field.
we got a car in the wall, turn one. Car in the wall, turn one. It looks like he's going to hold on to it. I couldn't tell who that was. It's somewhere around 10th place, that yellow car back there, right there behind Daniel Bowdler. Yep. Yeah, I think it was Cody Havens maybe.
It is, yeah.
Car.
Cody Havens in the 2 Pennzoil.
Yeah, he got hard into the fence there as they went off into turn one. As you see that right front damage.
And you see the car react there coming to the trial, a little loose on the back end, and look like he's about to lose the back end. He's going to lose spots here, right here, and get trained.
All sorts of movement from all these cars, just all packed up together.
Yeah, this is definitely our tightest pack on the racetrack right here, and unfortunately, he got up into the fence, and that's really going to hurt him, as we've seen that same deal here for Austin Green as he's continued to fall off where he was leading the race earlier.
Austin Green currently back in 7th.
We
do
got
have a caution.
on the track.
I believe that's Brad Williams from Bronco Motorsports, turned sideways.
Looked like he might have got a little help there with the left rear bent up. So we'll be interesting to see what we get on this next Diag wreck replay. And it's going to be interesting to see if he maybe got down on somebody or somebody just washed up. You got to do something. Let's take a look.
Oh, it looks like he definitely had some help. That's the number 68 of Mark Brown. Just got up into the back of him, got some damage, and man, he hits. So Brad hits kind of hard there on that inside retaining wall.
Yeah, that looked a little weird. I'm not sure exactly what caused those two guys to come together. I heard Mark Brown. He apologized for it on the radio just now. I'm not sure really what happens here. Once again, just a great job by everybody to not get involved here, and definitely a far cry from what we saw last night in the Cup race.
Looks like Williams already had some damage on that left rear.
It looks like he just came down and misjudged the distance between him and the other car there. Luckily, he has the fast repair, so he'll get right back out there with a brand new car and see if he can't move back up to the field.
Now, a little bit earlier, Mark Brown, he actually got into the wall, and we'll see that. This number 68 looks like there's a car out of shape. And he gets down into the wall hard.
Wow. Yeah. Off the racing surface, so it didn't bring out the caution. But that's a hard lick right there.
Yeah, you think that might have been what aided him into the car in that last wreck that brought out the caution. So you definitely think he's gonna come down now and get this fast repair because this car is pretty junk in the back.
Well, back the way front. Go ahead.
I was going to say, the way he hit the front side of that car, I wouldn't be surprised if the toe was knocked out of it and that steering wheel was off center.
So everyone pitting right now, everybody needs fresh tires and everything. That was a nice little long run. I believe we had about...
somebody spun around backwards on pit road.
Oh, my goodness.
64 car, I believe? The
64?
34, I believe it's the 34. I'm sorry. I'm in the blimp cam on mine. It's just trying to watch all the action.
That's Tony Dreon. There you go.
There he is.
So that's a little interesting.
Yeah, he got some help. I'm not sure who that was that got into him. It looks like there's some miscommunication there trying to get into their boxes, and he got spun around backwards.
Yeah, that left rear there is pretty dented up, so it looks like he might have had somebody driving down pit road on the left lane side. He just didn't see him there.
I'm trying to find that replay for us. Let's take a look and see. Well, that's all you see is just that replay. Let's see if maybe we can get a better look at what happened with Tony Dreon.
Yeah, unfortunately for him, they in iRacing they won't pitch you if you're backwards. In real life they can. It's like the 81.
Oh yeah, the 81 just got into the back of him. I think Dreon may have lost where his pit was and just kind of stopped in the middle there.
Yeah, that's exactly what I think too. I think the 34 just kind of missed his pit and tried to yank it over there real quick, and the 81 wasn't expecting him to check up.
Yeah, that's Craig Lautenslager, and we've seen him in a lot of four-wide racing races, and he's a pretty good driver himself. I don't think he spun him on purpose. It's just, where do you go?
The interesting thing is we saw it in the Coke series, or not Coke series, but the the NASCAR guys racing here, where they said, pit road is very difficult to get onto whenever you have a full pack like this. And a secret most iRacers know is I turn off my pit road so that all I see is my sign. And so when you have all the signs on there, it's very hard to see yours, especially if you're not in a paint scheme that you're used to even driving.
Some people call that a secret. I call that cheating.
I've heard, hey, it is an option available, and I use it. So
You're right. Hey, it's an option available to all of us, right? I use sim racing apps for the countdown, so they'll count me down on the way to the box. That's super helpful. You think about how difficult it is in real life. In iRacing, there's no contact when you're in the boxes. I know I played NASCAR 2003, and the first time I did a pit stop on it, and I learned that you can't hit people, you can't drive through them, and that is difficult. So I couldn't imagine how hard it would be to get in and out of pit road if you had contact in the boxes.
Oh yeah, and that's what I love about the sim. It's so realistic to real life, outside of that one aspect. But even getting on and off pit road at certain tracks is just more difficult than you can imagine in an actual car. So it's very difficult, and hats off to those guys, because I've grown an even higher respect for NASCAR drivers just playing iRacing.
Yeah, no doubt.
Keenan right now, and Marshall Stanley right now, he is the hard charger. He has gained 19 positions from where he started. Actually, I'm sorry, 20 positions from where he started. He started in 31st position. Now he's up all the way in 11th.
Yeah, that's my teammate there. And if I know Marshall well enough, he's probably in the chat room cracking up now and cracking jokes. So one of the most laid back drivers I've been around, but talented as all get out. And so he has a blast every time he hops on the track.
What is going on?
Wow. Oh, my goodness.
Dylan Patterson spins himself. I'm not really sure what happened there.
That looked like it might have been a wheel malfunction, and luckily did not hit anybody. Looks like he might have got it corrected, or he's just going to stay at the bottom of the track as we go back to the replay here.
That may have been a wheel malfunction. Just runs into the outside wall. He was running a great race too.
I'm just fortunate the leaders that we've had here tonight that has had a great race that didn't impact him, and unfortunate for him that wheel malfunction happens, because that's a part of iRacing again. That we do have malfunctions on our end.
Yeah, and you could say that's unrealistic, but don't forget Mark Martin raked Jimmy Johnson before the green flag at Talladega one time, so it happens. Guess we go green here. And Ted's going to get another big jump. But I tell you what, if I had to guess, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that number 3 Bass Pro Shop car right there is probably going to have the lead here in about 4 laps or so.
Yeah, as you see him on the hunt already, got a good entry into turn 1, come off turn 2. So we got 3 wide battling back there behind us. I think it's getting a little interesting as they fan out and get 2 wide.
23 washed up the track just a little bit, and if I had to guess, that damage from where he just got into that outside wall under caution is probably going to hurt him, as he is falling like a rock. He's going the wrong way big time right now.
Yeah, I bet he's stalling on that wheel right now, trying to keep control and just letting these guys go and just praying for a caution now and trying to save pace here.
You can see it right there on the onboard camera, that front end damage on the right front, it just makes the car so tight, because it acts as a parachute, so it just packs a whole bunch of air on the right front of that car. So when you try to get down to the corner, you got all that air trying to pick up on the right front of the car. You can't get that tire to really bite like it should, and it just makes it so hard to turn. And you're just begging to try to get back into the throttle as guys just drive around you, and you just can't do it.
Guys, don't look now, but here comes Green as well on the outside for second. Didn't know if he came back up here after that damage. He got it fixed, and looks like his car is all better.
Yeah, it looked like Jovi would just let him go there, just drop to the bottom and let him go on by. But I tell you what, that 8 car he flirted with the wall off of 4 again. And if he did use a fast repair to fix that, he's out of them. So he definitely can't get up into the fence anymore.
Yeah, as you see Bowdler here battling for 5th. Trying to make a great move, setting up the pass, see if he makes a move here in 3 and 4.
Yeah, that's a guy I'm surprised we haven't seen up front yet. Daniel Bowdler usually doesn't have a hard time fighting through traffic at all, as they're going to cross the stripe here to tick off lap number 41, and we're almost halfway through this race. And so, if you're not going yet, it's time to start going, especially the further back you get in this field.
Yeah, the saving tires game is over with. It's time to go to the front.
Oh, we got one in the fence. Wow.
Marcy getting the fence there, and luckily able to save it, and the guy's awareness getting around him.
Yeah, that was a great job by I think it was Greg Joyner there in the '85. He just shot to the inside to avoid him, and it's great reaction time, and that's going to help him big time, and not saving himself from getting any damage and sinking like a rock like we saw the 23 not too long ago.
Yeah, that's one of the aspects here, Charlotte, is you are drafting as close as you can, pull up to the, and then you see them coming off, and they're going too fast, can't get out of it quick enough. So that was a great reaction. Boy,
See them all lined up on the bottom here, and the battle for the lead. I mean, it's been these two guys. Other than when Austin Green got up into the fence, it's been him and Ted in that 91, and these two guys have really been going at it. So you see, it looks like Austin does a really good job in hooking that blue line there on the bottom of the racetrack, and that's really helping him turn around the corners. And so he continues to close that gap, and you just see, I mean, just a little bit lower than Ted is as they come through 3 and 4, and he's cutting the track a little bit, making it shorter the lower you are. But he's also able to get that run off the corner as he can really float that car up out to the wall.
Cody Haven spinning.
Oh wow!
Hopefully able to avoid everybody. A great job by everybody around him to avoid him as he came back up on the track. Unfortunate that he got in this wreck, but that's definitely going to help the 23 that got that damage. He's able to come down and fix this.
Yeah, based off of the radio chatter there, I'm going to go out on a limb and say he had a little help here getting into that infield.
Oh, definitely. He is racing around. I believe that's with the number 35. That's Josh Marcy. And you will see them get together. Cody Haven's hard into the wall. Josh Marcy loses his front.
Yeah, that just was – I don't know. That looked like one of those deals where, Cody's trying to float it up on corner exit there, and if the 35 is there, he's there. Obviously, you're making split-second decisions, and so it's easy to when you're the guy sliding to the infield like that to want to place blame on somebody. But man, 9 times out of 10, it's hard to really blame somebody. So that just looked like some hard racing, and unfortunately, they ran out of space off the 4.
Yeah, again, it comes back to that throttle control. He might have got into it just a little bit too soon and had him wash up on that exit, and unfortunately wasn't clear there and got into the wall and spun through the infield.
Yep, got a little plug there for Bank of America on top of the scoring tower. But yeah, exit of 4 is so tight off of this, at this place, and so I can see where that's very easy to do. Is we're gonna have some different strategies here up front. Jovi is gonna stay out. Ryan Ducombe stays out. Marshall Stanley stays out, and let me tell you, I had the opportunity to be a teammate with Marshall Stanley in MSM last year, and first of all, I can't remember how many road courses are on the schedule, but you can go ahead and give those to him. There's really no reason to race them, but he's a talented oval driver too, and I think he's going to compete for plenty of wins this upcoming season.
Yeah, he is definitely the road course warrior. We're going to practice a little Daytona road course tomorrow night, and I'm looking forward to getting some pointers from him because I'll be all ears whenever he's talking.
Yeah, I raced in the Roval last year in MSM. I think that was my second race in that series, and he dominated that race. Unfortunately, got caught up in some mess with some lap traffic and hurt his race. But I went back and watched his onboard to see, what was he doing that made him so much faster. I mean, he could have lapped the entire field if he didn't get in any trouble. And let me tell you, he just had that thing just. I mean, it was just strung out. Every turn he made, I couldn't believe he was holding on to that car. So that is a talented driver, and that kind of stuff really translates over to some of these ovals, especially the short tracks. And so, he's up there in third, and I assume he's probably been saving his tires, and he may be able to make a little run here at this thing.
We talked a little bit earlier in the broadcast about H2k Motorsports and how they've basically brought themselves back to life. They are hard to kill, obviously, but so we got Jovi Sagiped, sorry about that, and Ryan Ducombe, 1-2, both for H2k Motorsports right now.
Yeah, you just see the talent shine. These guys here flexing their muscles a little bit. The 3 car's been up here all night, up in third, and honestly, I think if that run would have continued, I think he was saving his tires to go get those guys. So We're going to see how much he actually saved here because he stayed out. And it looks like we got about 5 cars that stayed out. So it's going to be interesting to see how those leaders show patience to get around these guys that stayed out.
Yeah, and that's something I'm looking at too. I think if I'm Ted in that 91 car, I'm pretty happy with what I see in front of me. You know, he's going to be the first car on fresh tires, and but like you said, it's important to exercise patience because you know, even just, you know, as many laps as we just had under green, that those fresh tires are going to make a big difference. And so you can't just get up there and run over guys to get around them. You have to, you know, take care of your stuff and take your time and be methodical. So it's definitely good for Joby that there were 4 other guys to stay out with him. You know, that'll kind of create a buffer behind him back to those fresh tires. But with 50 to go when they come to green, obviously we're going to have more pit stops. So it'll be interesting to see if we do get a green flag run, how long can Joby stay out front?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is, you know, these guys have tire sets like they have in real life. So he's saving an extra set. These guys, like they've used 2. So it'll be interesting to see him saving that set and when he's able to use it.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe I heard Race Control come over and say they have unlimited tires tonight.
Yeah, tonight is unlimited tires actually for the entire league. They chose to go unlimited tires this season. I think next season we might be going to tire sets. So.
Nice. They're free. Come get them.
They are free. They are free of charge.
Yeah, and the tire sets adds a different kind of a different level to the strategies. You know, like you said, you have to save tires. But I'll tell you, you know, I've been a part of races that just kind of came down to a lottery of, you know, did you take your tires at the right time? You know, you get a caution halfway through and you choose to take tires and hoping that there's not another caution. But if there is another caution, you have no chance to win the race. And so that's one thing I do like about no tire sets, or, you know, at least plenty of them, is, you know, it's not going to come down to a lottery per se. You know, these guys have to be smart, and they're going to have to win this thing on the racetrack.
You know, iRacing, if you're listening out there, if you want a good business idea, charge for your tire sets. Charge $1 a tire set. You'll see a lot of different racing out there, I think.
Absolutely.
No, don't do that. I'm just kidding. Don't do that.
Yeah, you know, I've already got enough in this. You know, it's getting hard to justify at this point, Sean. So get the green flag here. Joby gets a great jump once again. That inside line, that leader, nobody seems to be able to time these restarts just right. And that's allowing these leaders to jump out. As we see Ted already going to try to work up the outside, and Austin Green's going to try to follow him. And with those fresh tires, they'll be able to make that outside line work.
Yeah, up front we got Marshall Stanley moving in the second here, our hard charger at the moment. So let's see with these fresh tires behind him if that comes into play. If he loses too many spots to these new tires, that he loses that hard charger award.
Yeah, and you can see it right now. Those guys were able to. They picked up 2 spots on the outside, and then they crossed over to the bottom there, going into 3. So those fresh tires, we got trouble already. Caution is out.
That's Danny Setzer. Danny Setzer and the number. I believe that's the 17. I'm not really sure who the other car is. That's Dustin Scruggs. That's who that is. It's the wrong number on the car. But so Danny Setzer and Dustin Scruggs involved. We will go back and find out what happened to those two with another Next Diag Rec replay. And Danny Setzer, one of the admins of Speed Racing Network, so he likes riding in the back just so he can see how people drive, just to kind of get a gauge of how these people work. And
yeah,
looks
I think Danny got up into the fence here, and that's exactly what that was. Got up in the fence and bounced off of it and came down and picked up a friend there.
Yeah, we're going to go back and check that out one more time. As they come around and Danny just runs out of space.
If we can go on board with Danny Setzer, I want to kind of watch his RPMs here. I have the stream muted, so I won't be able to hear his motor, but you should hear him lift. And like I was saying earlier, once you're committed, man, you're just not going to be able to keep off that wall.
Yeah, just a quick mistake is all it takes.
It's an unfortunate deal there for the, I think it was in the 16. Just wrong place, wrong time. It happens.
Yeah, and that goes back to last night where, you know, you were unfortunately caught up in that situation and it ends your night. But I actually enjoy the no fast repairs because I think it brings out the best of people, and it helps people avoid wrecks and makes you be more cautious and more aware. So, luckily he has one, and we have a pit road here as the 3 car comes down after that last pit stop, and they're gonna get new tires.
So does
Yeah,
Ryan
I'm kind of
Ducom as well. Yeah.
surprised. It's kind of surprising to see, honestly, because if you stayed out to maintain track position, the entire field pitted 3 laps ago, so you're going straight to the back here. So I don't know if I understand the strategy here. I think if I'd stay out, and Marshall Stanley's going to, and I think this is the right play. He's probably going to lose the lead, probably going to lose 5 or 6 spots, but that's better than 17 or 18, which is what those guys are going to lose. It just came down pit road.
Yeah, and that was the thing I was going to touch on when the caution came out was it actually helped these guys. That's another heat cycle that those new tires went through. So they're going to be older than what they are. So I think it would have evened the tires out, but we're going to see if Marshall Stanley can hold on to at least the top 10 as everybody on the track has fresh tires except for him. So let's see if the strategy plays out.
Yeah, for sure. And that's kind of interesting to see these guys choosing to pit. I don't know. Maybe they might be planning something different. They may be trying to play a little fuel strategy. Maybe they think they can make this into a one-stopper. But should be interesting to see how long Marshall can hold on up front. And going back to the fast repair thing, man, you won't meet anybody who's more anti-fast repair than me. When you don't have fast repairs, it makes you think twice before you try something. So I think it improves the racing tenfold. And I'm excited to see, as this race goes on, these guys are running out of fast repairs. You should start seeing a lot more green flag laps.
Yeah, and it just brings that cautious awareness up even higher whenever they do run out of those fast repairs. Because, like I said, my favorite race to run with them because is definitely Talladega. That's typically where most leagues will give you at least one. And my whole strategy that entire race is go as long as I can without using that fast repair. And so people say it doesn't change the way they drive, but it absolutely does. So it's going to be interesting to see these guys that don't have them, if they can work their way through the field without occurring any more damage. And these guys up front probably going to push it a little bit harder because they do have that fast repair still in their pocket.
Yeah, for sure. And it's funny, man. I think fast repairs on super speedways is the last place you want to have them. I mean, if you got them, you're a little more inclined to maybe push it 3 wide. And unfortunately, you want to have it when you're the guy who doesn't do anything wrong and gets hung up in the wreck there. But nonetheless, like you said, now you've got half the field who has one, half the field that doesn't have one. So that right there is going to change the way people race, no matter what. Because if you don't have any more mulligans, you're not going to try to force that pass if you can't set it up just how you want it. And if you do have a mulligan and a guy tries to pass you, you're going to try to squeeze them down a little bit harder than you normally would.
Yeah, and that's the thing also you got to be aware of if you have used it. You got to know who hasn't so that hey, this guy's going to be a little bit more aggressive, so I need to be a little bit more careful around him. So, and it works both ways, and you can take advantage of it if you don't have yours. So I'm interested to see these guys work their way through the field and hopefully keep this thing green with these last 46 laps we got left, and see if Marshall Stanley can stay out front.
For sure. Sean,
Yeah,
what's
buddy.
your opinion on fast repairs?
Man, I'm the longer races. I'm okay with one. I know when we first started Mid-South Madness, this was 2 seasons ago. We had 5, and it was awful racing, horrible racing. And then last season we chose to go 2, and towards the beginning of the season it was bad racing, but people started to get used to each other and didn't use them as often towards the end. But I just loved watching what we watched last night in the Cup Series, where first few laps, a few guys get taken out, and it's unfortunate, definitely, but we had like a 65 lap green flag run, and that really brought out the true racers.
Yeah, if I've got 5 fast repairs, I'm taking everybody 3 wide at every opportunity possible. I don't care if we're in Martinsville. I'm sending it, dude. I mean, yeah, that's great.
All right, guys, we only have one more fast repair left. Let's calm down.
Here we go, guys. Pace car diving off, and Marshall's going to try to get a huge jump because he knows that all those Mr. Feelgoods behind him are going to come quick.
Yeah, Marshall gets a great jump on the old tires, not spinning the tires. That shows a little bit of driver skill there, as he was able to get a good lead even on the older tires.
Yeah, and he did a great job. We saw the gap close. The last person who stayed out saw the gap close there. I think it was Devin Zimmerman earlier through 1 and 2, but he maintained that gap pretty good. Now they're going to start closing the distance here through 3 and 4.
The thing you got to wonder is if Marshall's going to protect that bottom, or if he's just going to let him go and hope that he can get back in line here. So it's going to be interesting if he holds that bottom, and if they're patient enough to let him hold that bottom and try to go around him.
Yeah, and I think if I'm Marshall, I'm committed to this strategy. I'm committed to the track position. I'm going to do everything I can to I'm going to make you pass me on the outside. It's just, it doesn't help me at all to let you go by me, because once I get stuck on that outside, I'm going straight to the back. So, and he seems pretty committed to doing that. And he can practically park it in front of these guys in the corner, and you can see it bottling them up through the center of the corner. And that allows them to kind of offset the run that they would have gotten off the corner.
I'm impressed with Marshall holding this lead, but I'm more impressed with these two behind him, able to show the patience not to get around him, because I'm telling you now, we'd be going 3 wide down the backstretch as they go to the inside here to try to make the pass.
Yeah, I was going to say, going back to the fast repairs thing, though, when you're getting brake checked practically in the middle of the corner for a few laps, the patience level starts to wear off just a little bit.
And unfortunately, Marshall's getting stuck here on the outside as Balor's going to pull up to the inside as well. Just expect him to try to get to the bottom as quickly as possible without eating those tires up that are already old.
Yeah, I was going to say, you should expect Daniel to really try to make sure he gets to the inside, because he's charging hard. He doesn't want to let the 91 and the 8 get too far out in front of him here, as Daniel's throwing his hat into the ring here. He's going to try to see if he can't get up here and battle for the lead a little bit.
Yeah, I fully expect him to be up here. I've heard stories about him. Never raced with him, but I've heard stories, and just by the stories, I know he's a good racer. So I fully expect him to be up here battling with these guys.
Oh, we can tell you some stories about Daniel Bodler. Don't you worry about that. So no, Bodler, his favorite thing is just staying up front. I mean, he wants to be up front away from everybody, so that way he's not involved in the wrecks at all. But great driver in real life, great driver on the track here as well.
Yeah, I know I had a great race against him at Pocono and MSM last year, and he drove away from the entire field. And once I got through all the traffic, I was thinking, man, his tires have got to be shot. I should be able to run them down. But no, he does a great job in being able to get out front, maintain a lead, and not chew his stuff up like we saw Timothy Latham do last night in the Cup Series race. So it'll be interesting to see how long it'll take him to track these two guys down, and if he gets there, can he get around them, as they're now down to 40 to go, coming to 39 here. So the laps are ticking away, and time's running out.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing now as I think it was a 3-car earlier. I think Balor's just sitting here letting these guys battle it out, kind of burn their tires up. And he's kind of just taking his time. You know he's going to catch them because they're going to start battling here pretty quick.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm watching Marshall Stanley now, as he's all the way back into 8th place now. And so he's at the point now he's hoping for a caution. This is where he's hoping for a caution, because everybody should come down and pit if we get another caution. And he needs that desperately, because he's going the wrong direction.
Yeah, strategy not paying out, but he's sitting back there hoping for that caution, and that's part of the gamble, but it's also part of racing. So we'll hopefully get this caution so he can get back up to the front as he being my teammate. But not questionable strategy. I believe in the strategy, so we'll see if it works out.
Speaking of strategy, so Joby came into pit on that really, really short caution there, and now he's all the way back in 19th, so he's got some work to do.
Yeah, and him and Ducon both pitted, and you see Ducon 2 spots in front of him. So that was my thing. I just didn't think everybody was on old enough tires that you were going to be able to just drive through the field like you really need to justify it. Marshall Stanley's 3 wide in the middle through 1. They made it work. That was close.
Great driving there to stay off each other, because let me tell you, that is not simple to do in the Xfinity car here at Charlotte.
Yeah, you see everybody. Marshall Stanley is just kind of a moving chicane at this point. We're not running the Roval layout, but if you're coming up on Marshall Stanley off the corner, you might as well treat it like the backstretch chicane, unfortunately for him right now.
Oh, yes, we got a battle for the lead here as Green's pulled up to the bumper of Ricketts, and we're going to see if he can make this pass. He's just riding his bumper and trying to set this pass up, because it's so difficult to pass here at Charlotte.
Yeah, and earlier we saw Austin get maybe a little impatient and get on the throttle a little too early, get up into the fence. So he's definitely got to try to avoid doing that again off of 4 or off of 2. Like I said, he's got to set this thing up and be patient. He still has 35 laps, and if it stays green, I'm pretty sure they would have another pit stop for sure. They're running 70% fuel, I believe, and so if I had to guess, they should probably using about, I don't know, 25 to 30 laps on an entire run.
Out in the chat there, Jack Johnson says the number 35 working his way back up. That's Josh Marcy here in the 35 car in 8th position, and you are absolutely correct. He is working his way back up. He started off in 4th, fell back some, but now it looks like he's got that car running.
Yeah, he's working his way back up to the field. You know, got caught up in that unfortunate accident earlier, hitting the wall. So we'll see if he's able to work his way up to the top 3, because that's where he was earlier before he got into the incident.
Big pack back here.
Yeah, that's a mess right there.
That's what we call the hornet's nest. You see Greg Olina getting stuck on the outside, and that inside lane just going to group up on him, and he's going to try to get down to the inside as quickly as possible.
Yeah, that's why all my packages are going to be late right there, because the Amazon Prime car is stuck in all that traffic. I believe that's a Jeb Burton scheme, Junior Motorsports number 8 last year. I don't know if he'll be back in that ride this year, but it's like Ted and that 91 Ricky Craven throwback is starting to pull away there from Austin Green. And Daniel Bowler hadn't really done a whole lot to close the gap, but he has pulled away from Gregory Joyner, so maybe he can focus a little more out of the front and a little less out of the mirror, and see if maybe he can't track these guys down and make a run at this thing.
Yeah, it's going to come down to who said the tire's the best, and whenever that green flag window comes open, who's the first to dive down, because unlike Auto Club last night where, you know, you're barely getting lapped as you're coming out of the pit road, you could possibly go down 2 laps depending on how well you get on and off the pit road here. So it's going to be interesting to see which guy takes advantage of that short pit strategy, or if these guys stretch it out to the end and see what happens.
Most of these cars last pitted on lap 46. We're on lap 70 now, and I think we were talking yesterday that it might be 32 to 34 laps, and so looks like they'll be cutting it pretty close here in the next 10 laps or so.
Yeah, and when you've had as many cautions as we've had tonight, it makes you a little less inclined to want to do that short pit strategy, because if you do it and you're on pit road and you come off and lose a lap and then the caution comes out, you lose the advantage of what you just did, because you're going to have to take the wave around. You're going to be at the tail end of the field on the same set of tires anyways. So you know, it's really a gamble. But look, if I'm one of these guys who are back here in 18th, 19th, maybe even Marshall Stanley right now, you know, I don't have a whole lot going my way at this moment. I may be trying that right now. Yeah, and Marshall Stanley's going to come down this time.
Yeah, if you remember right, he stayed on that last pit cycle. So I believe he can make it the rest of the way. We're going to see. It's going to be pretty close.
Yeah, he's going to come down right here. I just heard him call it out on the radio. It looks like he might have gotten up into the fence just a little bit, and that car then got tight on him, and he was really struggling with it.
Yeah, staying on the old tires, get up in the fence, you're just going to be bogging yourself down. So come down here, get some 4 freshies, maybe use that fast repair and get back out. And hopefully these green flag stays green now, and it can cycle back around and get pick up a few spots.
You know,
yeah, and I'll tell you what. Go ahead, Sean.
I was going to say, take a look at Dylan Patterson, who had that unfortunate incident under caution where he ran into the outside wall. He has moved all the way back up into 9th position.
Yeah, and that the AC Delco Superman scheme, I think that's an old Dell Junior Bush Series scheme, if I'm not mistaken. I like they got some really nice paint schemes out here tonight. I'm really enjoying checking all these out.
I am telling you, Justin Boyles is the NASCAR historian. That is who you are, buddy. You are incredible at knowing these things.
Oh man, I love it, dude. I just love racing. If you ask me, it's the best sport on earth. You got what you got, I got what I got. I don't care if it's a bicycle, a tricycle, a unicycle. We're going to pick a spot, and whoever gets there first wins. I think it's the best sport on earth.
Oh, as you see Ryan Ducombe get loose out of turn 2 there, possibly stacking the field up, as she got the 3 car on his bumper here, trying to make a pass.
Yeah, Joby really working his way back up. He was all the way back in 19th. Now he's up in 12th, so he is on the move.
Yeah, I tell you though, you know, if these guys are coming up on green flag stops here, I think if I'm Jovi, I really wanted to pick up more than what I've picked up so far to make this strategy work. Because if these guys start coming down pit road and they can make it to the end, I don't see Jovi being able to pick up a whole lot more spots than what he's already picked up, as he's looking to try to crack the top 10 with Ryan Ducombe there, following him there through the inside.
So, in your opinion, if you're Jovi, are you hoping for the caution here to come out, and that way you're on equal ground with everybody, and you can all make it?
I think that's probably the safest way. If I think the problem is we've seen it can be pretty difficult to pass when everybody's on even strategy. If everybody's fighting a tight condition, and that's what it really seems like, we haven't seen a whole lot of cars step out sideways. Maybe if I'm Jovi, I stretch this thing out and try to. It's going to cut down on your pit time, and then also you should be able to pass some guys because you'll be able to cut underneath them a little bit more. I guess it just depends on how many laps you have left when you do finally pit.
Absolutely. You came in the 4 laps later after that caution came back out, so he can go 4 laps longer. My guess would be to run it dry and hope for that caution to come out as the pit cycles go through, and you cycle out, and the guys that just pitted have to go around and start in the back. So I think that's the best case scenario, is him running it out. So we'll see how long he stays on the track before he brings it in.
Yeah, out there in the chat, David Duke saying Jovi's in that dirty air, and it's showing, and he is absolutely correct. Now, he has moved up positions. Of course, we were talking about that, but he is definitely not as fast as he was a few minutes ago.
Yeah, and one thing we've seen all night is that bottom groove is where you want to be. And so if everybody's there, you're going to have a hard time passing people because, we haven't seen a whole lot of guys be able to make the outside work. And so if Jovi's not been able to do that on these fresh tires, he's just losing momentum and losing ground every time he has to lift to try to set up a pass on somebody. Well, you have Daniel Bowdler just called out he's about to come on down pit road. So we're about to see if these green flag stops cycle through here.
Yeah, as green flag pit stops begin, you look at the 35 of Marcy all the way up to 3rd now. And the guys
somebody quick pit road.
Oh, here we go.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
Oh, you're good.
Sean's seen me do that about 5 or 6 times last season.
No comment.
Again, these things are difficult to slow down, and if you don't practice it, then you're not expecting it, because most times you're not expecting to go green flag pit stop. So when you get a race like this, it's those guys that haven't really been in that situation. So it's definitely easy to smoke the pit road.
Yeah, you got to get down off that banking too, and that's the most difficult part. And especially at a place like Charlotte, because that banking doesn't level out a whole lot whenever you got to start trying to check up. That shot you were just on, Sean, on the pit road entry, you can kind of see where it starts to level out, but that's way after you've got to get slowed down and get off of the banking. So that doesn't do you a whole lot of good right there.
Interesting enough here is Jovi's already hit pit road, and he had the freshest tires out of anybody on the track. So again, the short pit strategy coming into play for Jovi, and we're going to see if it pays off here. So he's come down. The leader just stayed out at least 2 laps since he's been in.
Yeah, I like that call. I think he's kind of leveled off there around 10th, 11th spot. So, come on in and see if you can't, pick up a little bit of time on these leaders, especially because every single lap that Ted and Austin Green, all these guys stay out. I mean, I don't know exactly what the fall off is, but it's probably around a second to a second and a half. So every lap they're out there, that's 1 to 1.5 seconds that they're not, that they're losing on the guys who are pitting before them. So we got another one really coming in hot there.
Nathaniel Mon just really overcooked it there, I believe.
Yeah, luckily he's getting 4 freshies here on this Camaro.
Oh, we got another one. Oh. I think somebody might have just gotten into the barrel.
Oh, my goodness, that's Derek De Silva.
Derek De Silva, and the hood's gone in there. Hopefully he still has his fast repair. If not, his race is likely over.
I just feel so bad for anybody that does that because I know that feeling. And I've done it from the lead, and it's just terrible, man. It doesn't matter how many times you practice it. It's so hard to do.
I think the best part about it is that the barrels don't go flying everywhere, so we don't get that caution. And so otherwise we'd be in a red flag situation.
Well, if you're the guy hitting the barrels, you wish they didn't go flying everywhere. I mean,
it may be probably a lot cooler for a screenshot there. So.
Hey, I've cooked it before and thought about looping it back out into the middle of the track. Just, hey, I need this caution because I'm not recovering from this at all. But, in last season we did stage racing in the league I was in. So if you missed it in stage 3, you were done. There was no coming back from it. And so these guys continue to stay out, man. And if I'm not mistaken, this is the last 2. And I don't know about this, man. I don't think they're going to cycle back out to the lead.
As you see there in the shot down the backstretch, Marshall Stanley coming for him, the guy that stayed on pit road or stayed out last time without pitting, and he's catching these leaders. And if he's able to
We got
unlock
a caution.
himself,
We got a caution.
caution's out.
Wow.
Oh,
They jumped the
wow.
whole field,
Wow.
trapped a lap down.
Wow.
And I was just saying it wasn't a good call, but they're going to have the entire field a lap down. And you got 5 cars on the lead lap.
Dylan Patterson's back end is just absolutely destroyed. Looks like he might have got a little help there.
Let's go back and find out with another next tire Rick replay.
This is a 5-horse race now. Or, 6 maybe, because you're going to have one guy get the lucky dog, but everybody else is going to have to take the wave around. In order to take the wave around, you can't pit. So these guys are on 5 to 6, 7 lap old tires.
Oh, he just went directly right turn into that wall. And again, remember earlier that happened as well. I wonder if something's wrong with his wheel.
Yeah, it's almost like there's a magnet or something up there in that turn 2 wall. Maybe some kryptonite. That's the second time he's found that one.
Oh yeah, definitely unfortunate. The 3-car nearly got into him as he came back across the track. Luckily, able to avoid him.
Let's go on board and see his wheel input there. I'd be interested to see if his wheel just stops turning.
See here, everything's normal, and then just comes up.
Yeah, that's weird. Because it looks like it looks like he's running a pretty low ratio. So there's not a whole lot of input there, anyways. I think I heard a little bit over voice chat though that he was having issues with the wheel, but kind of going back to what we got here on the track. So what I was saying is, all those guys who are on the lead lap there hadn't pitted yet. They get fresh tires. And everybody who had pitted is going to have to take a wave around and not be able to pit. So you're going to have the top 5 guys on what? You're talking about 5, 6, 7, 8 lap fresher tires than all these other guys.
Yeah, an interesting one out there right now. Marshall Stanley, last pitted on lap 71. He has not pitted on this rotation, so he is going to be up in 4th position, but with older tires than anyone else in the field.
Well, he had taken the lucky dog, so pit road should open up for him, if I'm not mistaken here. I think he was still a lap down, I was pretty sure.
Yeah, he was right behind the leaders for the I had mentioned right before the caution came out that he was right behind the leaders.
Now,
himself.
And the bad thing about this for him though is that being the lucky dog, he's got to start at the tail end, so he's going to be behind all these guys on old tires anyways. You see, he's coming on down pit road now. So yeah, he got the lucky dog, and if we can get a quick caution, right after this, he'll be able to come back up and restart in the 6th, 5th position, wherever he's at. The only problem is if you get a quick caution, all these other guys who are going to take the wave around right here will be able to come and get fresh tires.
And that's pretty much the entire field that is going to get that wave around. So be on the lookout for this, though, because sometimes wave arounds, when you have this many people doing them, can be cautions in themselves.
Yeah, I was about to say, hopefully they delay that green, because there's going to be a lot of cars trying to get around here and get back in line and be in order without getting black flags. So it's going to be interesting to see these guys get organized.
Yeah, and this whole situation right here reminds me back, it was the I want to say it was the Bristol night race in real life in the Cup Series. I don't know how much you guys watched, but
I was there.
So it was it was the same deal, right? I think it was Kevin Harvick and Kyle Busch, right? And I think a couple other guys, and they kind of stayed out longer, and then the caution came out, and the entire field was trapped a lap down.
Oh, yeah, man. Awesome race, man. That was my first time being at Bristol, and let me tell you, if you've never been to that track, that is the one track you got to go to.
It's on the bucket list, but I'm going to tell you the same thing about Talladega if you've never been there. So.
See, what's crazy about that is I listened to the Dale Jr. podcast, and he had a mail-in guy ask him, hey, never been to a race. What's one race if you can go to? What would it be? And he mentioned Bristol. He said, Daytona has the history behind it, but you don't see as much racing as you would at Bristol, where, I was on the backstretch. I could see the whole race the entire time, and it was just insane.
Yeah, you see, I go to both Talladega races every year. I went to the Daytona 500 this past season, and I'm a super speedway junkie. I love the style of racing, and no, you can't see the entire track because Talladega it's 2 2/3 mile, but Man, there's nothing like hearing and seeing that pack of 40 cars come thundering off the corner, and you can hear the RPMs revving up as they, exit the corner and come down that little hill there. Man, I'm telling you, you'll love it. And I want to go to Bristol too, because there's something special about that Bristol night race.
I think the coolest thing,
no dirt on it though.
Yeah, no dirt. I don't understand that whole gimmick, but you know what? The whole thing about Bristol is, I don't wear earplugs in Texas when I go. I wear one, and I get there and I have my wife her earplugs. She's like, "You're wearing earplugs?" I'm like, "There's going to be no silence at all for the next 6 hours." Yeah, I'm definitely going to wear earplugs.
Yeah,
Whereas, those other tracks, you get a break when they're on the other side of the track, but Bristol, constant noise, man. It's amazing.
It's like a big bowl. You don't get as much of a break at Daytona as you think you would, though. You can definitely tell the size difference when you go to both. But we're back under green here. Pace car is down pit road, and it's going to be Ted leading us back to the
Oh, there you go. The spinning of the tires. That was one thing that we needed to bring out as the yellow comes out. Those guys spun their tires mid-pack, and it was like,
oh, wow.
I was afraid of that. I saw Greg Olenek step out of line, which told me he spun his, and then it was just a checkup. And, oh, man. That was unfortunate. Somebody went head on into the wall. That was awesome.
We'll take a quick look and see what happened back here on this restart. We'll get a few views of this because nobody was lined up double wide. So, oh, yeah. He gets the 83. Wow. That's Stephen McGaw, maybe. So that's probably how you pronounce it. But just direct right turn into the wall.
And that's the difficult thing of the wave around is the wave around forces you to the inside line and single file. And so it looked like he spun his tires, didn't get a good jump. And 7 just ran right into the back end.
Yeah, Ryan Ducombe just gets into the back of him and might probably end his race by doing that.
Yeah, and something else that probably attributed to that, Sean, you were kind of touching on, is everybody, single file. We saw that last year in MSM when we tried to do single file restarts, and it just accordions the entire field. So if you get checked up and then you're kind of panicking trying to get back on the throttle so you don't get lose a ton of spots, and then you jump on the throttle a little too hard, and you take a 90-degree right turn into the outside wall. Unfortunately, it's easy to do for sure.
Well, it was just kind of strange because the first 2 rows were stacked up double wide, and then everyone else was single wide behind that. Not really sure what happened to cause that, but typically doesn't iRacing tell you to go inside or outside?
It's because of the wave arounds. Everybody on the wave around is tail end of the longest line.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And so the inside line would be the longest line, so it would go by position there.
Yeah, an interesting thing here is we spoke about it before that caution came out in that restart. Marshall Stanley now up to the 7th position and up here with the leaders, not having to go to the field. So we're going to see what he has.
Yep, and along with that though is all these guys who weren't obviously hitting the outside wall there on that restart is going to be able to come down pit road and get fresh tires. Pit road will open up for them, and they're on the lead lap, and so they may have a few players here. The good news for them though is that, or for the leaders rather, is that they didn't put any laps on the tires. They just put about 200 feet on them, so they should be okay here. That I don't think the tires will make a big difference.
Okay, so while we're under caution here, I'm going to spoil some huge news that has not been announced yet. It will be announced either tonight or tomorrow. But we have had a sponsor come forward, Sparkle and Shine Mobile Detailing, as well as our next IAG Rec Replay. So both of those have come forward, and they are offering a sponsorship to the winner of the final recruitment race in each league. And so it'll be a 5-race sponsorship. So think about that for a second. Next week is the final recruitment race for the Xfinity cars. It'll be at Texas. Hey, everything's bigger there, especially the prizes. And so the prize there, if you win that race and you're racing in the Xfinity League, you get a 5-race sponsorship. And so, I mean, that's worth $50 right there.
Yeah, that's awesome right there. I mean, to have these sponsors come on and it's man, if you try to explain it to other people who aren't involved in iRacing, they were like, "Are you crazy? What?" But I mean, we try to put on a great broadcast for these guys and great racing, and I mean, it's awesome to see these companies come on and really support what we got going on here on iRacing with Speed Racing Network. I know we got a couple shout outs from some NASCAR drivers, and that was really cool to see in the Discord. And man, let me tell you what you guys are growing here at Speed Racing Network is absolutely awesome, and I'm super glad to be a part of it.
Oh, we've completely enjoyed this, and the people that we've met, both of you as well as 150 guys in this league, 150 guys and girls. There's a couple women in here as well, but all these people have come into this league and really become family, and it's really a lot of fun because we get to take part not just in the racing aspect, but when all of these people are not racing, they're all shooting the breeze on Discord. They're all calling each other. They're all getting into races together. They're all forming teams together. They're doing all these great things, and that's just not something that's common in gaming.
Absolutely, yeah. And that's what's cool about iRacing is we come here and enjoy a sport that we love and get to replicate that. And so I definitely enjoy, just even before getting in the league and watching the broadcast, I said, hey, man, I want to be a part of something like this. The dedication you guys show on the broadcast and just to each individual driver, it's unmatched.
Yeah, for sure. And let me tell you, you kind of touched on it there. We all enjoy this sport, and it's a sport it's hard to get into in real life. And sim racing gives us all an opportunity to kind of get to be a race car driver for a few hours at a time, and it's really cool. And so these broadcasts kind of add that extra element to that. And I know a lot of these guys go back and watch these broadcasts again, and it's just really cool to kind of get to see yourself, almost be like just like the guys you watch on Sundays. And man, it's like you said, Sean, it's turned into this big family and this big community of guys, and it's something that only has potential to grow, and it'll continue to do so. But I tell you, I'm excited for the finish of this race. We're going to come to green here with 7 laps to go. Ted's been out front. I don't know how many laps he's led, but it's been a lot of them. And you got Austin Green, who has been right there filling up his mirror. And as the pace car dives off, they're going to come to the green flag. And you see Ted. Oh, yeah, Austin trying to jump it there. And yeah, that was – we got 3 wide already back here.
Yeah, we're all stacked up.
Oh, yeah, the gloves are off, fellas. There's 7 to go. It's time.
That's Zach Taylor.
Zach Taylor.
Hold on to it. Oh, he's going
coming out.
Oh, man.
That was a hard move by Zach Taylor.
It almost looked like somebody didn't get – maybe that was Zach, but it looked like somebody didn't grab a gear or restarted in the wrong gear or something. It's so easy to do. Not sure what happened there, but man, somebody went straight backwards through the middle right there.
Let's go back and get a rec replay here. See if we can't find out what happened. But Marcy just right there on the inside. And I'll tell you, so we've seen Zach Taylor race that way before, where he dives into that corner and take no prisoners type of thing. And not sure if that was him or Josh that really caused that thing.
Yeah, but if you go all the way back to the restart there, Josh just didn't get going. I mean, you see him right there. He looks significantly slower than everyone else. And, I mean, I think he restarted about 2-3 rows ahead of where he was at right there when that replay cut in. So I'm not sure if maybe he just, like I said, didn't grab a gear or restarted in the wrong gear, but definitely not at all what you want here coming to the end, because fast repair or not, you're going to be in a tough situation to recover from that. And yeah, looking at his RPMs, he looks like he's in the wrong gear.
Yeah. I mean, Zachary Taylor, he took the real estate that was there. It's just with the 7 laps to go, you're not going to lift right there. So I don't blame him. That's the competitor. So just unfortunate for Marcy to start in the wrong gear or whatever the issue was that caused that accident.
It's so easy to do, especially if you have a butt kicker, you can feel the RPMs.
Plug.
That's right. Go get a butt kicker.
Plug there, yeah.
use the code, and we'll actually show you the code right here. So down at the bottom of your screen, you will see you can use discount code SRNVS20 for 20% off your butt kicker order. And so all those people that are out there that looking for those last minute Christmas gifts, a butt kicker is a great one because it changes the way you drive.
Listen, I have two of them. One of them reacts to the suspension telemetry on the front suspension, and the other one reacts to the engine RPMs. And man, it's just changes. Like when it's not on, you notice, and you don't know what you're missing until you have it. And they're really cool. They're worth the money. So definitely use that code too, man. That's an awesome code. And yeah, there's different little third party apps you can tie to them, and you can really get the most out of them when you play with them a lot. And like I said, I have two of them. I love them, and it's hard to race without them.
And again, while we're talking about our sponsors here, so Sparkle and Shine Mobile Detailing is giving $10 to the hard charger of the race. And let's take a look and see who the hard charger is right now. And sure enough, it's still Marshall Stanley.
Mama, there goes that man, Marshall Stanley. Like I said earlier, he's probably cracking up in the Discord right now, probably joking about how he's going to drive through all these guys to get to the front. But see what he's got left. He's in the hard charger right now, but I know he wants more than that. He wants to go up there and get that win, if I know Marshall.
Just kind of looking through the pack here. So our top four guys are not on a race team at all. And so they are really showing all of our full-time drivers what's going on. So the top four are not on a race team. The next 14 are, and then Stephen McGaw is back there in 19th, and he is the next independent up. So team owners, team managers, get those keyboards out, get ready, because this race is going to be over here very shortly, and they will be fielding calls.
Yeah, and it looks like we're going to get a 2-lap run here, but it won't count as a green-white checkered. It should still be in regulation. It's a little bit longer caution than what we've been having so far tonight. So, iRacing pulling out all the tricks.
They just want to make it a good show, that's all.
Look at that Tide car right there. On the in the lead right there, Ted, and that 91. Let me tell you something. I see Tide, and there's only one thing I can think of, Sean. Roll Tide.
Oh my goodness! I knew you were going to go there. I knew you were going to go there.
He has been rolling tonight, just like that Alabama Crimson Tide do most Saturdays, all Saturdays so far this season. I tell you,
my gosh, I'm not going to say anything because my team is a little brother, so I'll leave it alone.
Oh, I'm just going to say that you guys are both lucky that the Cincinnati Bearcats didn't get the invite. I'm just kidding. It's a total joke. Relax.
I'm an Oklahoma State fan, so I just get disappointed by Oklahoma every year, so no big deal.
Out there
this way, he has the orange, so it works.
Out there in the chat right now, so Sean Kozier saying definitely glad to be a part of racing with everyone, fun group. Jack Johnson saying, hey, I stumbled upon this league just recently. It's exactly what I've been looking for, so we appreciate that, Jack. Cannot wait to have you out there. He also said that the Butt Kicker discount code didn't work. You know what? I will contact Butt Kicker first thing in the morning, be sure that that's working. So find out what's going on with that, and I'll get back with you on that. And then David Duke saying his first iRace was March 9th of this year. So, a few guys that have not been in here very, very long, but that's what iRacing does, man. It is so addicting.
Oh, yeah. Let me tell you, that climb to A class was a grind, man. But I stay on it all the time. I unfortunately do.
Yeah, I grew up playing racing games, man. When you get on iRacing, it's a completely different animal. It is just so cool. You will never go back to a console racing game after this. But here we go. Got that 91. He's going to take the green flag. That is Ted, and he's got Austin Green to his outside. He's going to try to slam the door.
Look at Marshall Stanley.
56.
Marshall Stanley peeking outside. He's looking to go.
And we have got 2 laps to go. This is all the marbles right here. Marshall Stanley really getting a big run on the outside, but I don't know if he's going to have enough time to be able to close the gap and get around these guys. We got a car down on the apron, down towards the back stretch, but it looks like they're going to get through clean. They're going to be 3 wide back there.
Now remember, if they get back to the white flag, there's no more cautions. So Rekich wants to see that white flag, and he gets it. Here we go. Let's see if he can hold off Green.
White flag in the air. Ted is going to lead him down into turn one more time, and the Tide is rolling.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
The Roll Tide is out front. It looks like he's got to get through one more corner, and he's going to get home free.
That's right. This is where Austin Green just needs to send it. Just needs Carl Edwards to bounce off the outside wall, see if it sticks. He's not going to do it, though. And Daniel Bowler's got a tight race there. They're going to be side by side back there for 6, but it's going to be Roll Tide. Roll taking the checkered flag. Ted, flag to flag, dominated this race. Austin Green had an awesome bounce back after he got into that outside wall off of 4. But, man, what an awesome race.
Absolutely. And congratulations also is in order to Marshall Stanley, our Hard Charger Award winner tonight. And he got $10, man. Congratulations. And yeah, awesome race, man. Those guys fought it out all night, and that was a great race.
Definitely a fun race to watch, and I gotta tell you, so these the top 3, all 3 of them are independents, and so we don't have them in the chat either, and so so we're not going to be able to get any interviews just today. But don't worry, I have a feeling these guys are going to be back not too far from now, and we will be able to get some really good interviews later on in the season.
Yeah, it's awesome to see an independent come out here and just dominate that. So it's going to be interesting to see where he wants to go. I think he's going to have his pick of the litter as far as the open spots in this league because he came out here and dominated this race tonight.
All right, so let's pull up our results and see how we did here. So Ted Rickich in first place as an independent, Austin Green in second as an independent, Christian DeBoer as an independent as well, and then your buddy Marshall Stanley in fourth position from Rev Racing.
Yeah, then you got Dustin Scruggs, also an independent, Jovi Sagupid, right?
Sagiped. Yeah, Sagiped.
Apologies, man. Apologies. He came in 6th for H2k Motorsports. Daniel Bowdler coming in for R&D Motorsports in 7th, and Gregory Joyner for Bronco Motorsports in 8th.
Yeah, we got Brad Williams also going to come in 9th there for Bronco Motorsports. Devin Zimmerman, remember he tried the early strategy there, staying out, and he managed to recover well in 10th for Hammer Down. Ryan Ducombe for H2K in 11th. Zach Taylor in 12th for Hammer Down. So Nick Goen for Bronco Motorsports in 13th, and Eric Hawk, R&D Motorsports in 14th. So tough night it looks like for my guys in the R&D Motorsports cars.
You know, Jay Graves makes his return to iRacing here in Speed Racing Network in 15th position for R2D2 Motorsports. And then you have Danny Setzer for Team SRN in 16th after a bad accident early on, and he still finished only 4 seconds out of the lead. Then you have Bo Tiffany from Team SRN as well in 17th, Stephen McGaw, an independent, in 18th, Craig Lautenslager from Bronco Motorsports in 19th, and then Greg Olenek from Rev Racing down in 20th. What a fantastic race, and honestly, we got a lot more green flag racing in there than I thought we originally thought we would, the first 10 laps of the race. But what did you guys learn today?
I learned to put Roll Tide on my car.
Oh my goodness! and thus ended your broadcasting career.
We'll check back in a few weeks and see if.
Oh heavens!
Yeah, David Duke just messaged me, and he's a Tennessee fan, and so I'll let you use your imagination on what that message might have said. But just know that he would be the little brother in that scenario. But no, seriously, it's I know you, Byron, you're being a truck series, and myself in the Cup series. It's hard to really look at this and learn a whole lot because the aero package is so different. But if there's one thing I noticed is that just because somebody has independent next to their name and hadn't found a team yet, doesn't mean that they're not going to be a threat to win week in and week out. So that definitely stands out for me.
I mean, if I know David Duke, and I'll tell you, so last week when we had an Xfinity race, he was constantly just getting those independents just really, really quickly. As soon as that he was able to contact them, he was saying, hey, you want to be on my team? You want to be on my team? In fact, there was a moment where he said, guys, I got to stop. I got to go get in the shower. And so the second he jumped in the shower, a new independent jumped in. And as soon as that independent jumped in, we heard him come across the radio. We heard the shower in the background saying, I'm going to get this guy. I'm going to get this guy.
Well, if he doesn't have room for him now, he'll just make another team.
Exactly. All right, guys. Well, next week's race, we're going on to Texas. And again, the big news tonight that has not even been announced to the league yet is that the winner of that race, if they are racing in the Xfinity Series, then they get a 5-week sponsorship So that means the first 5 races are paid for by Sparkle and Shine and Next Diag. And so, and I mean, that could lead to even more things. And so there's some opportunities out there for everybody. Now, that also goes for the cup race, the final cup race of the recruiting season and the final truck race of the recruiting season as well. So 3 people are going to get a shot to be sponsored for the first 5 weeks of the season. Can't beat that anywhere.
Yeah, I'm about to log off of here and go practice some Texas. Nah, man, that's awesome, man. That he comes on, they come on and do that for us, and man, I just think it's going to bring the competition to the top, and it's going to bring even more competition next week or the next race. And I just can't wait to see what it brings, because it's going to bring the best out of everybody.
Well, I'll tell you, so there have been lots of conversations between the admins of this league. And again, not a ton of viewers out there on YouTube, and that's okay because they're going to watch this back for this information. There is going to be an all-star race. The format is going to be insane and just so much fun. We've got all sorts of stuff cooking, guys. And so this is going to be a great league. It's going to be a great series. I cannot wait to share that with you guys. But for right now, we got to let everybody go so they can go get to bed because, hey, Christmas is coming up. Let's get prepared for that. And then we've got the new season starting first week of January. So
yeah, I can't wait, man.
Oh, yeah. So for myself, Sean Griffith, with Byron McDonald and Justin Boyles, please, everyone, have a great, safe evening. And we will see you guys at least next week at Texas for another Xfinity Series broadcast. Everybody have a great night.